Name one region that's been conquered more times than it has years of peace. The Balkans. Rome wanted it. Byzantium died for it. The Ottomans held it for 500 years. Austria-Hungary went to war to keep it. Not because of oil, not because of gold, because of a simple geographic fact that nobody can change. The Balkans is the only land bridge between 3 continents. If you want to control trade between Europe, Asia, and Africa, you go through the Balkans. If you want to move armies from east to west, you cross the Balkans. This is why empires have been killing each other over the same mountains for 2,000 years. Welcome back to the epic and extraordinary. Today, we're breaking down why the Balkans have never been left alone. Not once. Not by anyone. If you love stories about geography determining history, hit that subscribe button. Look at a map. Europe ends at the Balkans. Asia begins at the Bosphorus. Africa is one strait away across the Mediterranean. The Balkans sits exactly where all 3 collide. Geographers call this a land bridge. Military strategists call it a choke point. Empires call it necessary. Because let me tell you what the Balkans actually control. The Adriatic Sea. Direct access to Italy and Western Europe. The Aegean Sea. Gateway to Greece and the Mediterranean trade routes. The Black Sea. Access to Ukraine, Russia, and the Eurasian steppe. The Bosphorus and Dardanelles. The only water route connecting the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. Whoever controls the Balkans controls the shipping lanes, the trade routes, the military access points. This is why Constantinople became the richest city in the world for 1,000 years. It sat on the Bosphorus, right at the junction. Every merchant ship traveling between the Mediterranean and Black Sea paid tolls to pass through. Byzantine emperors collected customs fees on silk from China, spices from India, grain from Egypt, and slaves from the steppe. The city generated so much wealth that when the Ottomans finally conquered it in 1453, Sultan Mehmed II renamed it Istanbul and made it his capital immediately. Same city, same strategic location, different empire. The Romans understood this before anyone else. 146 BC, they finished constructing the Via Egnatia, a 700-mile paved road stretching from the Adriatic coast at Durrës, Albania, all the way to Constantinople. This wasn't just a road, it was actually the backbone of Roman power in the east. The Via Egnatia connected Rome to its eastern provinces, allowed rapid troop movement, facilitated trade between Italy and Asia Minor. If you wanted to move a legion from Rome to the Syrian frontier, you took the Via Egnatia. If you wanted to transport Egyptian grain to Dalmatia, you used the Via Egnatia. If you were a merchant shipping goods from the Adriatic to the Aegean, you traveled the Via Egnatia. The road made the Balkans the highway of the ancient world. By the 1st century AD, the entire Balkan peninsula was under Roman control. And for 300 years, this was the most stable period in Balkan history. One legal system, one military authority, one currency, unified infrastructure. But stability ended when the empire split. 395 AD, the Roman Empire divides into East and West. The dividing line runs straight through the Balkans. Illyricum goes to the west, ruled from Rome. Everything east of that goes to Constantinople. This creates a permanent fault line. Western Christianity versus Eastern Christianity. Latin versus Greek. Catholic versus Orthodox. The Balkans becomes the border between 2 worlds. And borders get fought over. After Rome falls, Constantinople becomes the capital of the Byzantine Empire. But they have one problem. The Balkans is the only land route to their capital. Any enemy wanting to attack Constantinople has to march through the Balkans first. Bulgars, Serbs, Crusaders, Normans, Ottomans, they all take the same path. The Byzantines spend 800 years defending the same territory. 1071, the Byzantines lose the Battle of Manzikert to the Seljuk Turks. Anatolia collapses. They lose Asia Minor almost entirely. This forces the empire to depend even more heavily on Balkan resources. Food, soldiers, taxes, everything comes from the Balkans now. 1204. The Fourth Crusade sacks Constantinople. Western Crusaders occupy the city for 57 years. The Byzantine Empire fractures into 3 smaller states, all of them fighting to reclaim the capital, all of them competing for control of Balkan territory to fund the war effort. When the Byzantines finally retake Constantinople in 1261, the empire is broke, surrounded, exhausted, and a new power is rising in Anatolia, the Ottomans. Actually, the Ottomans don't start as an empire. They start as one small principality in northwestern Anatolia around 1300, but they have a strategy. Expand into Europe through the Balkans. Use Balkan resources to fund further conquests. 1354. The Ottomans cross into Europe for the first time. They seize Gallipoli on the Dardanelles. Once they're in the Balkans, they move fast. 1362. They take Adrianople, make it their new capital and rename it Edirne. 1389. Battle of Kosovo. The Ottomans defeat the Serbs. Serbian power collapses. The Balkans opens up. 1396. Battle of Nicopolis. The last major crusade tries to stop the Ottoman advance. The Crusaders get obliterated. By 1400, the Ottomans control most of the Balkans. Constantinople is surrounded on all sides. The Byzantine Empire is reduced to the city itself and a few coastal towns. May 29, 1453. Constantinople falls. The siege lasts 53 days. Sultan Mehmed II uses massive cannons to breach the Theodosian walls, which had protected the city for 800 years. When the walls break, the Byzantine Empire ends. 1,500 years of Roman continuity finished. And Mehmed immediately does what every conqueror before him did. He makes Constantinople his capital. Because the Balkans and the Bosphorus are a package deal. You can't control one without the other. The Ottomans hold the Balkans for the next 460 years, longer than any empire before or since, and they do it for the same reasons Rome and Byzantium did. Strategic access, trade revenues, military highways. The Via Egnatia, now 1,600 years old, is still the main road. Merchants still pay tolls. Armies still march the same routes. Different flag, same strategic logic. While the Ottomans dominate the Balkans, Austria is expanding south. The Habsburg Empire controls Central Europe. But wait, they're blocked by the Ottomans in Hungary. 1529. Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent marches 250,000 troops to the gates of Vienna. He besieges the city but fails to take it. 1683. The Ottomans try again. 140,000 soldiers surround Vienna for 2 months. Polish King John III. Sobieski arrives with reinforcements and crushes the Ottoman army. This is the turning point. After 1683, the Habsburgs go on the offensive. They form the Holy League with Poland, Venice, and Russia. Together, they push the Ottomans out of Hungary and deep into the Balkans. 1699. Treaty of Karlowitz. Austria gains Hungary, Transylvania, and parts of Serbia. 1718. Treaty of Passarowitz. Austria takes Belgrade and northern Serbia. For the first time in 230 years, a Christian power controls significant Balkan territory. But Austria doesn't hold it for long. The Ottomans counterattack. In 1739, they recapture Belgrade. The border stabilizes. Austria controls the north. The Ottomans hold the south. And this creates a new dynamic. Austria and Russia both want the Balkans, but neither wants the other to have it. This is called the Eastern Question. What happens to the Balkans when the Ottoman Empire finally collapses? Russia wants to expand south and control the Bosphorus. Austria wants to expand south and reach the Aegean port of Salonika. Britain and France want to prevent either from succeeding because it would upset the balance of power. So the Balkans becomes a frozen conflict. The Ottomans are too weak to hold it. But the great powers can't agree on how to divide it. Here's what you need to understand. Every empire that fought over the Balkans wanted the same things: access to the Bosphorus, control the straits, control trade between Europe and Asia, control of trade routes. The Via Egnatia is 1,800 years old and still matters in the 1800s. A defensible buffer zone. Whoever holds the Balkans can stop invasions before they reach the heartland. Revenue from tolls and taxes. Millions of merchants pass through every year. You can fund an empire on customs fees alone. The Romans built roads. The Byzantines built fortresses. The Ottomans built caravanserais. The Austrians built railroads. Different infrastructure, same objective. The Balkans is still the bridge between continents. Still the choke point for trade. Still the land route to Constantinople. You can redraw borders, change empires, rename cities. But you can't move mountains. You simply can't relocate seas. You can't change the fact that Europe and Asia meet here. And that is why the fighting never stops. 1912 to 1913, the Balkan Wars. Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, and Montenegro fight the Ottomans for independence. Then they fight each other over who gets what territory. 1914, a Serbian nationalist assassinates Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo. Austria-Hungary demands control over Serbia. Serbia refuses. World War I starts. 4 years. 20 million dead. All because Austria-Hungary and Russia couldn't agree on who controls the Balkans. Now the pattern doesn't end with World War I. In World War II, Germany invaded the Balkans to secure access to Romanian oil and protect the southern flank before attacking the Soviet Union. 1990s, Yugoslavia collapses. 7 different countries emerge. They fight wars over borders, resources, and access to the Adriatic. Today, the European Union wants the Western Balkans for stability and access to trade routes. Russia sort of wants influence to block NATO expansion. China, of course, is investing in the Belt and Road Initiative through Balkan infrastructure. Same region, same strategic importance, different players. The Via Egnatia is now part of the Trans-European Transport Network, still connecting the Adriatic to the Aegean. The Bosphorus is still the only waterway between the Mediterranean and Black Sea, still controlled by Turkey, still a choke point. The Balkans literally never stopped being a battlefield. It just stopped being a battlefield between empires and became a battlefield between alliances. This is why the Balkans have always been a battlefield of great powers. Is there any region in the world where geography matters more than the Balkans? Drop your answer in the comments. Because honestly, when you're the bridge between Europe, Asia, and Africa, peace was never an option. But if you think this story was intense, you need to watch our breakdown of the 70-year-old king who fought in the trenches. Click right here to watch that next. Stay epic and extraordinary.